Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Give It a Year, my podcast diary. My name is Jenny Q, and I am an artist, an author, a sister, a support worker, a neighbor, Canadian, and now a podcaster. Welcome to my my podcast diary. This is a fun, safe space for you to come and listen. Sometimes I will share stories, sometimes I will talk about art, sometimes I will talk about life, and other times it'll be a reflection and contemplation. It has been about 2 months since I've shared a story or something creative, because I had been going through a lot. So I had a lot of episodes about fear and scrolling and being in your head and all that kind of stuff. So if that's something you struggle with, the last few episodes might resonate. But tonight for me, when I'm recording this, tonight I've decided to share a story that I wrote a while ago. And it's a story about spring. And the reason I chose this story is because today in Fergus, where I'm from, in Canada, was beautiful. Just beautiful. And there were lots of flowers breaking through, trees budding, and the sky was blue and the sun was beaming, and it was just truly spring. So I thought it was a good time to share a story. So I'll hop on that, but before I do, if you've not been to another episode previous to this, I do have 4 podcast promises I keep every week. They're in the write-up of the episode. But basically, in a nutshell, it's that I will be positive, I'll be here every week, and that this is a diary and you can count on me being here. That's basically it in a nutshell. Okay, so I am going to, as always, bring up the music so that you can focus on the story or whatever it is. So the story I'm about to read is one that I wrote and I submitted to be put into a compilation with a bunch of other amazing authors. It's in a book called We Are All Made of Love, Restoring Your Faith in Humanity One Story at a Time. And it was produced by the Heart and Soul Author Collective. Unfortunately, it is no longer in print, so you are not able to get any more copies. I, of course, have copies. My copy, because I wanted to have a copy. So this is one of the stories that I submitted. I think I have 3 or 4 in here and a couple of poems and stuff. So, I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to jump into reading the story. So here we go. It's called WIBLE, the Pretty Gold Daisy. This is a story about a tiny flower named WIBLE, who became friends with a young girl named Kathy. WIBLE was a little gold star, also known as a black-eyed Susan, also known as the pretty gold daisy in the garden. WIBLE liked the last name the best because it's the one that Kathy gave her. Kathy was the young girl who lived in the red brick house where WIBLE lived. WIBLE lived in the front garden box underneath Kathy's bedroom window. Kathy was considered an odd girl because she talked to the flowers and the plants and the trees. Several of the neighbors mentioned this concern to her mother in a casual conversation. Her mother knew it was nothing to fuss over, and she would reply to the neighbors' concerns with a smile and a polite, "Oh, really? Thank you for sharing." "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen," Kathy said as she bounced down the front steps of her favorite place under the big maple tree. "Isn't today just beautiful?" WIBLE wanted to shout, "Yes!" Unfortunately, flowers have no lips or mouths. All WIBLE could do was hold herself as tall as possible and spread out her petals in the happiest display possible. It was such an effort and fantastic display, Kathy noticed. "Well, aren't you just something special?" Kathy knelt down to look at WIBLE closer. She smiled. "You know, people think I'm crazy for talking to plants, but it just feels natural to me. Kathy giggled, and she explained her joke to Weeble as if she understood. Nature, plants, natural, get it? Weeble did, in fact, understand and found the pun funny. So she shook her petals and waved them in the wind as her way of laughing. Kathy was mesmerized, just for a moment. Did you just respond to me? Without hesitation, Kathy shared another joke. How do the trees in the forest access the internet? Kathy's stare was laser-focused on Weeble's petals as she continued. They log on. It happened again, and the petals definitely moved in a happy and quick flutter. Cool, was Kathy's way of confirming Weeble did respond. From that day forward, Kathy found a new favorite spot in the garden, sitting next to her favorite pretty gold daisy, Weeble. Each day, Kathy would share a story, a joke, and sometimes she would sit silently with Weeble, enjoying the gentle warm breezes of the summer washing over them. Weeble found ways to share her moods. Petals wide open and full meant she was happy, and when they drooped and were rolled into themselves, she was sad. And if she wanted to say yes, she would point her leaves one direction, and no, she pointed her leaves in the opposite direction. Kathy was fascinated by this blossoming friendship with this one flower. Weeble also was curious as to why and how this connection, this friendship, was possible. The answer came unexpectedly one afternoon. One day, Michael, Christopher, and Dylan, the Smithson boys, were quite loud and difficult to ignore from across the street. More accurately, Michael and Dylan were fighting about what they wanted to do. Christopher was off to the side, waiting for the yelling to stop. Michael was demanding and telling the other two what to do. Dylan yelled back at Michael, then asked Christopher what he wanted to do. The yelling continued, and Christopher sat down on the edge of the driveway, covering his ears, not saying a word. Michael finally gave up and walked away. Dylan watched his little brother and sat across from him. Dylan rolled the basketball in the driveway to his brother. His brother rolled it back a few times, and then it evolved into a game of one-on-one, laughing and goofing around. Kathy felt a wave of understanding wash over her in that moment, watching the brothers. She felt confident she now knew it was magic that allowed her to have a friendship with her favorite daisy. It is the magic of love. Her love for the flowers. It was mixed with a pinch of curiosity and patience, which most people call listening. Like Weeble, Christopher did not say a word and clearly communicated he wanted the yelling to stop. Once the balls started bouncing, laughter followed, and the connection made between the two brothers was beautiful. It was love. Kathy could not explain the magic she had discovered that day, but she knew it was magic. Some combination of her love, Weeble's desire to be part of something, and both listening to each other. The magic connection Kathy now understood is communication, listening and expressing through love. And that is how Weeble, the pretty gold daisy, and Kathy, the odd young girl who talked to plants, became friends through listening, sharing, and caring. And that's it. That's the story. That's a while ago, man. I love my little story. And I'm throwing it out here for you guys just as something a little fun and light and different. I don't really have a whole lot to say other than, don't underestimate the value of going for a walk or hanging out with nature. And if you feel compelled to talk to a tree or a plant or the grass, I don't think it's weird. I encourage it because we're all connected, whether people believe it or not. I truly do believe that. Anyhow, with that, I'm going to wrap up, and I am going to, of course, end off sharing my philosophy, my 3 pillars of positivity. That's what we'll call them, my 3 pillars of positivity. And those 3 pillars of positivity will help make life magical and amazing. And if you've been here before, you know what I'm about to say. And if you haven't, here's how it goes. We all have the capacity, no matter who we are, how old we are, how young we are, what we have in our life experience, our age, it doesn't matter. We all can make life incredibly beautiful and magical by doing 3 simple things. 1, sharing our smile. 2, sharing our love. And 3, sharing our laughter. And I didn't realize how long I've actually believed this philosophy until I read the story with you just now. Obviously, sharing a smile. Kathy, the character Kathy, I just envision her always smiling. And her mom smiling too, just being kind, And then obviously the love, that's kind of the core theme of the whole story, so sharing her love. And then the laughter, the amazing fun dad jokes at the very beginning. And the laughter is what initially ignited the magic for that unique friendship to evolve. So, I'm not saying you have to have a friendship with a flower, but friendships that you don't expect can certainly pop up when you open up with a smile, some love, and some laughter. And love is kindness, so, kindness, whatever. So, just know that when you do that, you make your life better, and you can make such a difference in this world. And it's really how I try to live every day. I try and share one of those 3 things with people, if not all 3. So, have a great rest of your day. I hope that you've enjoyed the story, and let me know. I'm happy to write more new, fun, short flash fiction stories, and I think I will. So until next week, enjoy your week, enjoy the spring weather that is finally arriving here in Canada, and know that no matter what else is going on in the world, what insanity, what chaos is going on, you can always come and spend some time with me and my podcast diary for a little pocket of positive space. Thanks for coming by, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.